Hi, welcome to another tutorial from Cut Corner Studio. Today we're going to have a look at the NBC logo, and using Inkscape we're going to look at some of the ways that you can use the tools and the software to be able to build your own version. So I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but we're going to look at some of the key areas, some of the key features of the logo, and then the rest you can find instructions for, like this particular example you can see on the screen in the download file that you'll get off the website. To get to the web page that you need if you found this video on YouTube is you go to cutcornerstudio.co.uk or cutcorner.co.uk, design tips and tutorials, and if you search for NBC here, the tutorial will come up. If you find this video in a few months' time, or if you find it very soon after we've published it, then you'll find it in the main feed here. Okay, so just looking at the file itself, what you'll find in there is a finished version of the NBC logo, something you can work towards. The actual logo that we've done in Inkscape. The instruction sheet, which gives you some indication of how we've gone about creating it, which we'll talk about in a second, and the Inkscape file that has the instructions in it as well. You've got a texture in there which you can layer over your final vector artwork. In GIMP, for example, which there are links to that particular piece of software on the post on our site, and Motor Oil 1937M, which is the font that you'll need for this particular tutorial. So we're going to go just straight into it and have a look at some of the key features. What I believe to be some of the key features are obviously the feathers of the peacock and how to generate the kind of the head of the peacock here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go View and Grid, and the first thing I'm going to do is just create a circle, making sure that it snaps to the grid, and it's 100 by 100 in this instance. And what I'm now going to do is get this to position a little bit. I'm going to pull a grid down to here, and then I'm just going to position the circle so that it's the middle of the circle runs through this horizontal guide. So I'm just going to get rid of these bits here. And what I'm also now going to do is just pull a vertical guide along, and I'm going to position this in the middle just by going up on the X coordinate here at the top. So nudge that in so it's right on. And what I'll then do is get the basically curves and straight lines tool here. I'm just going to very quickly draw a triangle. Now don't be too concerned if it's not right on the edge, because we're going to sort that out now by just going to edit pass by nodes. I'm just going to pull that across to this bit here. And I'm just going to get my colour dropper out here, and I'm just going to make sure that it goes the same colour, orange. I'm going to remove the stroke here at the bottom. What I need to do is just pull it up a little bit so you can see that. And then I'm just going to move this down a little bit so that it's in line. So a bit of a dry mouth hit, right? There we go, so that should be in place. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, select both elements, and I'm just going to go Path, Union, and stick them together. Now, I can squish that up a little bit. If I double click once it's selected, if I click it one more time, I'm able to rotate it round. And as you can see there, it's a little bit bigger than it should be. But if I was to make that full colour and size that down, I've then got one of the feathers. If I take the grid off so that I can position that a little easier. Scale that up a bit, and I've now got one of the feathers. Just to get, say if you want to get a second feather in place, all I would do is normally just duplicate, click it once more time to rotate it, and just find a decent point of rotation, which should be somewhere around there. So it's just to the right of the point of the feather, and pull it round, and literally then what you can then do is duplicate again and do exactly the same process to get all 6 feathers in place. Colours for each of the feathers are next to each feather on the instruction sheet in the file, so you'll be able to get the right colourings for each bit. And the next thing is this section here, which is the peacock's head. So what I'm going to do is just bring up the grid. I'm going to work quite big at first, but size it down. I'm just going to get my Bezier curves and straight line tool out again, and I'm just going to create a very basic shape that looks a little bit like this. Flood fillet white, so now you can see that it is a very basic shape. Looks nothing like the peacock's head at the moment, but what we're now going to do is zoom in and edit the pass by nodes, which is the second tool here. And I'm just going to bring that, add an extra node in here in the middle of this line here. And I'm going to make it symmetrical. Zoom out a little bit. I'm going to do the same for this one here. Approximately in the middle. Pull the handle out a bit. Position that there. Just going to edit and make these points symmetrical as well, so that I can get a slightly more kind of like bird-like head. It's really just about fiddling until you're happy with the shape. Bring that round. It's looking a bit messy at the moment, but just about there. There we are. Okay, and then what you'll then do is with, for example, this particular one that I've just drawn up, I'm just going to remove the stroke again, size it down so it's relatively small, just to get the point across. Rotate this round so that it's kind of vertically pointing. Position it correctly. Zoom in. Pause in place. And with that one selected, hold down Shift, select the feather, path and difference, and as you can see, you then have the head which will position kind of using negative space, like this particular example here. Just to, as I say, the font itself that you need is Motorol, which you'll need to install before the tutorial. And what you will need to do, just to make you aware, is if I go NBC in capitals, select, and I'll just change that to Motorol. As you can see, there's the font. Now the actual logo itself is quite close together, so you need this tool here, which is a space in between letters, and we're just going to reduce it so that the lettering is a little closer together. If I turn that white, you've got the NBC text. So that is basically in a nutshell the tutorial for how to create it, and we've kind of left you with instructions to be able to work independently on it. If you have got yourself a version drawn up, please to send it into the website so we can actually put it up on this tutorial to show how people have got on with it. Thank you.